Welcome to Axiom's first Introduction to Leadership module. This is meant to give you kind of an overview of what's coming and why it's important. And that's really kind of how we want to start the first video. Why is this important? Why is it important to increase your leadership capacity? And this is going to sound pretty pragmatic. Actually, one person on our team said, wow, that seems kind of like cold and indifferent, or maybe those weren't his words. But I said, why would you start with leverage? Leverage sounds like such a, it's a term we use in finance. It's a term that you find, applies to get more out of a certain effort. And I use leverage intentionally because when we go into teams, we go into companies, we have lots of tools and processes. We have lots of systems that we can put into place there, and they're going to make a difference. Oftentimes, those are the things that business owners are most anxious to start with. How can you help us be more efficient? How can you help us improve our processes? And what we find is that while those things can help the business improve, they can only go so far. At a certain point, it's really the leaders who are able to get that business to accomplish more. Leaders are tremendous leverage in a business, and your leadership capacity is the thing that's going to leverage your results. It's what's going to allow you to get to the next level personally. It's also the same thing that's going to allow your company or your organization to get to the next level on a bigger scale. The next big reason that we want you to invest in leadership, in your leadership capacity, is because we are all built relationally. We're all relational human beings. We want people who are going to invest in us, who are going to know us, who are going to understand us better and better as time goes on. And you want that out of your leader, you want that out of your CEO or the business owner, but your team also desperately wants that from you. And increasing your leadership capacity is one of those things that can bring tremendous depth to the relationships that you have and also yield a really positive impact on the people around you. I believe that we all want to make a difference, and your leadership capacity is one of the biggest ways that you do that. And then finally, we want you to embrace the fact, and we believe it is a fact, that leadership is a skill that can be increased. We find that we ourselves, and you probably as well, have invested hundreds of hours or thousands of hours and lots of dollars in developing the skill set that got you to where you are today. We'll go to school, we'll go to trade schools, we'll take extra courses, we'll go get professional certifications to build a technical skill set. And yet, we don't often have access to or find the time to invest in the soft skills of leadership. These are a whole different skill set, and it really kind of downplays it to call them soft skills. They're very practical skills that could be very different from the technical skill set that you learned that got you to where you are now. And it's investing in that skill set that's really going to make the difference in this next phase of your professional journey. We find that a lot of times leadership is conflated with charisma, and you'll have these really charismatic leaders and people will go, wow, like they're such a great leader because they've got this energy about them or this presence about them. But we find that even those leaders hit a ceiling, and if their leadership capacity doesn't grow, they start to become ineffective leaders. At the same time, there are people who look at those folks and they go, well, I don't have that kind of charisma. I don't have that presence. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not the person who can rally the troops. Therefore, I'm not meant to be a leader. And they take themselves out of situations where they could be incredible leaders. And what we want to bring to the table for you is a series of maybe insights and exercises that are going to allow you to increase your leadership capacity as a skill, so that regardless of your personality type, regardless of how introverted or extroverted or charismatic or uncharismatic you feel you are, your leadership capacity can still grow. Some of the best leaders that I've had the experience to work with are not your prototypical, storm the hill, huge presence, just bigger than life personality. Just ordinary people who've decided to work on an extraordinary skill set. And that's what we hope you'll do through this series.